Please.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, ma'am.
So this is the first time you are appearing for the model interview or interview contract. Have you appeared for the interview any other job?
Yes, sir. In the job that I'm currently in, for that I have appeared for interview, and last year also I had appeared for UPSC Civil Services marks. Yes, sir.
Why do you think civil service is important today?
So, civil services is the best platform by which we can reach out to a lot of people and touch their lives, and we can get in the ground and uh, see the programs and the schemes that the government is trying to bring. We can implement them on field. So that is why I feel it is important.
There is a criticism saying that civil service is the most uncivil service in India. How will you react to that?
So, uh, if you could please explain what do they mean by this criticism? So
They say it is uncivil service. People, they really do not have empathy. They behave as entitled people. And if you really see the literature on the kind of evolution in civil service, there is a concern that it is not the people's service. How do you respond to that? Do you agree? Do you disagree?
Sir, I do not agree to it, sir. I understand that there might be some unfortunate incidences where civil servants come across as unempathetic or stuff like that. But however, sir, that is, I mean, that can be there in any services, sir. Mostly, as far as my experience with the civil service servants are concerned, I find them really dedicated and empathetic and committed to their purpose. So I do not really agree with it, sir.
Are you little bit aware about the international scenarios?
Yes, sir.
What is the, can you tell in 1 or 2 minutes, what is this Gaza crisis that we all hear about?
Yes, sir. So the Gaza crisis, it is basically there is firstly in the month of October this year, the Hamas group, which is a terror group, it launched a terror attack on Israel, and then Israel started hitting back, and currently they're hitting on Gaza, and there are it is kind of a massacre, and a lot of lives are suffering there. So.
What has been India's broad stand on this issue? Are you aware of this?
Yes, sir. So earlier, when in the month of October, when the first attack from Hamas happened on Israel, the Indian statement was that we stand with Israel, and since we have, I mean, India as a country has always also seen terrorism. It knows how it feels to be the victim of terrorism. So we said that we stand with Israel. However, sir, in the UNGA, when there was a motion for ceasefire, we abstained from that motion, sir. We did not vote in yes or no.
I wanted to ask you, as a woman, officer to get selected, how would you tackle this problem of hunger in children in this country? Because as per the hunger index, India has slipped down. India has slipped down from previous years. So how would you tackle this?
Yes, sir. Ma'am, for tackling hunger in children, I think, ma'am, at this point of time, the problem in our, if I may ask, ma'am, we are talking about our country, our state right now. Yes. So, ma'am, I think the problem is not with the availability of food. I mean, it is not like that mostly people are not getting food at all, but it is about the quality of food that they are getting from in most of the cases. So I would like to ensure that the quality of food that is being given to children and also to mothers while they are pregnant and then in their lactating stage, it should start from that early stage, and then as the child is born and he or she grows up, we need to provide good quality
How one is
nutritious food.
supposed to do it? If you can be more specific.
Uh, Ma'am, I think there are already very good schemes at both central and state level for this. The Janani Suraksha Yojana, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, and many other schemes that they are there. I think what we need to focus more is on the implementation part of these schemes, ma'am. And if we need to, we can make a few changes here and there, a small, for example, in iron or folic acid tablets because in our country above a certain age are anemic. So if we can start doing that, if we can build the health of the mother, and then that would be a good start to a healthy child. And then obviously doing giving fortified foods to mothers and children, we can think in this line now.
I was seeing that you have been associated with CSR activities like TCS.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So can you say a little bit more about what it is?
Yes, ma'am. The initiative that I was associated with, it was called Protsahan. It is a CSR initiative by TCS, Tata Consultancy Services. Therein, ma'am, every year we used to reach out to a few groups, few NGOs who used to work with underprivileged children, and we used to conduct competitions regarding amongst them. So it used to be a fun-filled day where we call them and there were good food and competition and all this. And throughout the year, ma'am, we used to stay in touch with the NGOs to provide food and clothing and whatever needed to those NGOs for those children.
You answered to ma'am about food security and all that. Do you think that the schemes of the government are enough to reach out to people who are deprived of food?
Ma'am, sir, on a broad scale, I believe they are. I believe they are enough. But on an implementation level, there are lacunas that may be looked into. In case to case or district to district or on narrower levels. But on a broad, sir, I believe the schemes are enough, and if we can just focus more on the implementation part and make sure that there are it is reaching out to the intended beneficiaries, I believe it is enough, sir.
What can be the possible role of NGOs in this regard, in the implementation part?
Yes, sir. So NGOs can play a very important role in implementation because the reach and the knowledge that they have about the ground level realities of the society. The government itself might not have that much reach. We might not have that many staffs. We might not have that many offices in those remote places. So NGOs can really come to help. For example, sir, we know about the Akshaya Patra institution which helps in the midday meal. So like that, many institutions are there which are doing good work in helping out the implementation, sir.
What is your understanding of current rate of unemployment?
So the current rate of unemployment
It's very high.
yes, sir.
So, what is your actual understanding about it? Why it's so high? Or what are the reasons behind it?
So the reason behind, if we take a closer look, we would see that the rate of unemployment is higher amongst the graduates who are, I mean, who have recently graduated. Under 25 graduates have the most level of unemployment in our country, sir. What that could suggest is that people who are getting education, they're not willing to take up job that they're, I mean, they're not ready to take up job that they're getting at the hand, which may mean that, the jobs that they're getting are not at par with their level of expectation and their level of education. So we need to create more meaningful jobs and.
There is a particular term for this kind of unemployment. Do you know about that?
So.
This kind of unemployment, you are employed, but you are not satisfied with the kind of returns that you are getting from your employment or salary that you are getting from your. So you are still considering yourself as unemployed. So there is a particular term.
So disguised unemployment?
It's disguised unemployment. So that do you think that some kind of disguised unemployment is there in India?
So the term disguised unemployment, academically we have read it in terms of agricultural sector. But yes, the thing that you mentioned, that one person is already in a job and looking for higher jobs for their higher aspirations, it can be called as disguised unemployment. However, I'm not sure if economists would agree to that. So.
My last question to you is: you studied in Ramakrishna Mission System Federal School.
Yes.
To you, which is the most appealing saying of Swami Vivekananda, which helps you to look forward?
Sir, the most, actually there are many, but if I have to choose one, I would say the one where he said that khali pete dhammo hai na. You cannot be religious if you are hungry.
Okay, Paramita, I see you enjoy reading short stories.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
So, could you define a short story for me? What are the features? Just because of the size, you call a particular work a short story, or are there other features?
Yes, sir. So, no, it is not only because of the size that we call a particular thing a short story. If we take contrast to a novel, sir, in a novel or other literature, say example for novel, we take a whole part of a bigger part of a person's life or the character's life, and we focus on to the details of their emotions and other things. Wherein in a short story, we focus on a small incident maybe, or a small emotion for a small time that they might be facing, that they might have in their mind. And also, sir, coming from Bengal, we can always take help of Rabindranath Tagore in defining a short story, that অন্তরে অতৃপ্তি রবে সাঙ্গ করি মনে হবে শেষ হয়েও হইল না শেষ, which means that once you finish the short story, there will be a lingering effect of that short story in your mind. You'll be thinking about that particular thing, however that story is already finished. So I think that could define.
That it is open to the reader whether the story could be expanded in a particular way or not.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, and then why especially Satyajit Ray? Since you were referring to Rabindranath Tagore
Yes, sir.
and his short stories,
Yes, sir.
and you have Satyajit Ray's short stories,
Yes, sir.
what would be the basic difference between these two?
So the basic difference of Rabindranath Tagore's and Satyajit Ray's short story, as per me, is Tagore's short stories are for people of every age, whereas Satyajit Ray, he started writing his short stories for the magazine called Sandesh, which was basically for young people. However, the way he has written it, it still intrigues adults like us. So the audience, the intended audience, though was not that adults, but the way of writing makes it interesting to everybody.
So do you find that there is a difference in contents as well?
Right, sir. There are differences in content as well. Satyajit Ray's short story, they mostly one characteristic of Satyajit Ray's short stories that I can think of is that he writes about there are less number of female characters in his stories. That is one thing. Also, there are many different types of characters in his stories. For example, we have Feluda, who is a detective. We have Tarini Kuro, who has had different professions all his life. We have Professor Shonku, who is a renowned scientist, and they deal with many other simple aspects of people's life, which intrigues us. So, yes.
Okay. All right. That is your reading perhaps, but nevertheless. Acha, you just tell me what is your take on, say, the idea of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, and can it be really applied when you pursue national interest of the state?
Yes, sir. I do agree to the term of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which means that we have to see the world as our family. However, sir, we cannot stand. I mean, if we take it with consideration of national interest, we need to also keep sure that we have to first make sure that our national interests are secured, and then only we can look out to our family. For example, sir, if I myself as a person am not healthy and I'm not able to look after myself, I will not be able to look after my family. Similarly, if my country's national interests are not taken care of, I cannot take care of the interests of the world.
The
So,
members of the family.
Right, sir.
But suppose if this is some kind of, you must be familiar with those ideas, zero-sum game, non-zero-sum game. That is, I win and you lose. In that case, how can I take care of the other members of the family?
So we should always strive towards a case where there is a win-win position, where none of the parties lose. Because I mean, the moment that one party is winning and the other party is losing, there is a chance of reverting back from that losing counterpart. So we should always make sure in terms of all spheres, especially in terms of national interest and global politics, that there is a win-win situation for all, so that the status quo and peace is maintained.
Okay. Give me a scenario where we have a win-win situation with Pakistan.
So currently we have had a statement from Pakistan where they are saying that India was never our enemy, and the situations that happened in Pakistan was.
Who says that?
I'm sorry, I'm not able to recall at this point.
But the current caretaker Prime Minister says we will fight 300 wars with India.
Yes, sir. But sir, I think strategically we are at a better position to fight back if Pakistan decides to do that. And I believe that Pakistan is also aware of the fact. So they might go for smaller attacks like they did in Pulwama, but they might not go for a full-fledged war, I believe.
Okay, then just a last question. That is, so you would consider Pakistan as a member of the extended family?
Sir, there's a saying that you need to keep your friends close and enemies closer. So yes, the member of the world, and so a member of the extended family, definitely, but a member whom we need to be very careful of.
Okay, thank you.
Paramita, you have as your subject literature, Bengali literature, and also you as your hobby reading Bengali novel. Can you tell me one event, recent event, by which Bengali literature is nationally acclaimed? Very recent event, within 2 or 3 days, announced within 2 or 3 days, last. This year's Sahitya Academy Award goes to Shopnamoy Chakraborty. Have you written any of his short stories or novels?
Ma'am, if I can take a guess, I think Holde Golab is written by him, but I have not read any of his short stories or novels, ma'am.
Acha. Regarding those reading of short stories, uh, can you please name 5 authors, different authors,
Yes, ma'am.
except Satyajit Ray
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
and Rabindranath Tagore?
Yes, ma'am. There are the 3 Bandopadhyays.
Mhm.
Ma'am, Manik Bandopadhyay, Tarashankar Bandopadhyay, and Vibhutibhushan Bandopadhyay. Then we have Short Chandra Chattopadhyay, and then
Very few short stories,
yes, ma'am. He has very few.
and
short
only
stories.
those are aimed only for mostly teenagers,
Yes,
etc. Okay.
yes, ma'am. And
So we can keep him aside. 3 Bandopadhyayas.
3 Bandopadhyays. Then
There is one Mukhopadhyay as well.
He is a master of short stories. In his time, in our time also. Sir, with
Let
sir, with
us-
your
let us
permission,
be-
I can say 2 Mukhopadhyay.
Let us little bit make it more national. This will not. I mean, these are the things which will not
Huh.
come there. So let us make it more contemporary.
Yes.
And let us go away from this pure literature because this is a
I'm
service.
not
literature.
able to recall them.
Can you please compare between 3 Bandopadhyayas?
Yes, ma'am.
They have 3 distinct styles.
Definitely,
Huh.
definitely. Yes. For example, if we take Vibhutibhushan Bandopadhyay, his style of literature is he is someone who he knows about the social realities, but he doesn't distinctively oppose them. Rather he's for example, if we take his many short say Pui Macha or the other short stories, he knows about the realities. He knows about the social realities, but he doesn't avenge a war, against that. Instead, he likes to enjoy the beauty in the smaller things. That is Vibhutibhushan Bandopadhyay. Tarashankar Bandopadhyay, he mostly writes about the Rar Bangla, ma'am. And Manik Bandopadhyay, in his first life, he was mm, uh, I'm sorry. He later turned to be a communist, ma'am. In his first life, he used to write about the darker sides of people's life. Ma'am. I'm sorry, that should have been
It's all
phrased
right.
better.
Acha, you have given preference, second position to revenue service, customs and indirect taxes.
Yes, ma'am.
You have any idea about that service? Basic idea? What is customs? What is indirect taxes?
Yes, ma'am. Indirect taxes are
Are there indirect taxes or now indirect tax?
now there's GST, ma'am.
So it is
So, but there are taxes that was not subsumed by GST, ma'am. Like the one on the turbine fuels and the
petrol
yes, ma'am.
on petrol.
Yes, ma'am.
So tell me about GST. What is the difference between earlier regime and GST?
Ma'am, I need to read more about it. However, one difference that I can currently recall is that GST applies on the state where the particular item is being sold, whereas earlier it used to be on collected from the state from where it was getting originated.
You use the last term correctly. Earlier regime was origin based. GST is destination based.
True. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What is customs duty? When it is collected?
Ma'am, customs duty is when something is coming from outside the country or going out of the country.
When it crosses our border.
Yes, when it crosses our border.
Suppose you are going to other country for a tour or for residential purpose or anything. You have your personal belongings also, all personal belongings with you. Do you have to pay customs duty? What is your idea?
Ma'am, if I may take a guess, ma'am, I think there should be a limit on the amount of gold or things that we can take, because otherwise the officer
You are not taking only gold, all your personal belongings also.
Okay, ma'am, but I think
You
there
are
should
correct
be-
about gold.
there should be a limit on that, ma'am, because otherwise nobody would know if I'm smuggling it or it is my own asset.
Or you are selling it, commercial purpose.
Yes, yes.
Nobody will know whether it is for commercial purpose or other purpose. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Acha, we are giving some nations preferential treatment.
Yes, ma'am.
What is this preferential treatment?
Ma'am, I'm afraid I will have to read more on it.
We are not giving Pakistan that preferential treatment.
Yes, ma'am.
Our neighbor, some nations we have some treaty,
Yes,
friendly nations we call them.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we have some preferential treatment regarding trade and businesses. What is this preferential treatment? Take a guess. It relates to your preference.
Ma'am, maybe there are less charges or taxes levied on the items when we trade them.
There
with
are
the,
some exemptions,
yes,
right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Do you think for international trade it will skew the relation with other countries also?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I think WTO has been flagging these issues that it might skew our relation with other countries. But since it's a agreed norm by all, so we are continuing it.
Do you know what is anti-dumping?
Yes.
Yes, tell me.
Ma'am, if some country is, for example, if China is producing a lot of goods and it is kind of dumping those products. in
What
our
is
market.
dumping?
Dumping means, ma'am, it is sending all the products to our country, and because of the
No, dumping has a specific meaning. Just
No.
sending in bulk, not.
Primarily, the technical things she did
Yes.
not answer in this interview. Margin of dumping and dumping
Yes.
and the WTO UNCTAD articles, you did not go there.
I'll try to read.
You can simply say that if such technical questions come, that when the local price at which somebody sells and somebody sells abroad, there is a difference,
Yes, yes.
and that difference between the two is called the margin of dumping.
Yes.
So that you will go to the Ministry of Commerce, you will know about anti-dumping duty. Let us not go into that.
Okay, sir. Still, I'll try to read about it.
Yeah, and also do not say maybe. Either you know or you do not know. Boolean, 1 or 0, don't say maybe. I think it's good.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.